NPP, and Jigawa Governor, Deputy absent, as Oshibajo meets APC delegates.
From the Daily Post newspaper this morning, blasphemy. Deborah Samuel's parents break silence, make shocking revelations. Chief of Staff resignation. Ganduje directs head of service to take up position. Gunmen kill 2 police officers. 3 civilians injure several others in Bayelsa. Serap takes Buhari government to court for spending 1.48 trillion naira on the non-functional refineries. 2023 politics. Wike Amechi face zoning battle in Rivers. Elsewhere, from the pages of the Daily Post, 2023 presidency, Buhari gave me opportunity past VPs never had. That's according to Oshimbajo. Kaduna police warn against protests, commend residents for sustained peace. Don't take cocaine, cannabis, other intoxicants on duty, Oyo government tells PMS officials. Ogun students condemn campaign of calumny against Governor Abiodun. Appointment of Futa's first female VC fraudulent. That's according to ASU. Still talking politics. 2023 presidency. Why Buhari loves Amechi. That's according to El Rufai. You find that in the pages of the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Why my wife will never forget Amechi. El Rufai again with that one. Alleged forgery. Forum petitions APC screening committee wants reps aspirants disqualified. And lastly, 38 billion naira Benue loan. PDP knocks APC for criticizing autumn aids.
And from Daily Trust, aftermath of resignation, Josso begins for vacant ministerial positions. Unpaid claims, Sokoto Kebis and Zamfara petrol marketers threaten strike. I'll support whoever emerges as PDP candidate, Bala Mohammed. Ted Fund 6 sanctions for errant contractors. Some more from Daily Trust. Newspaper, how terrorists who plotted to rape housewife were nabbed in Kaduna forest. I have not resigned, says Amechi. I have not resigned, says Amechi. Bala Mohammed, Buhari is a soldier. He doesn't understand politics. Okay, Osipasero finally appointed Super Eagles coach. Osman Air passenger stranded for 24 hours in Kano. Some more from Daily Trust before we go to the analyst for today. Police arrest 3 over death of Bauchi APC local government chair. And brain drain, NLC charges federal government and nurses, midwives, welfare. Dr. Professor Olu Ojedokun joins us on the program today. Good morning, Prof.
And top of the day to you.
All right, let's start off with the blasphemy case, talking about Deborah, the young girl that was killed last week. We understand that her parents have come out to speak. First of all, they said that the federal government hasn't come out to say anything to them right now. And how many days has this happened? And the federal government hasn't spoken to them. What do you make of that?
Well, first and foremost, let's just realize that these killings of this sort, why this is not unique, has happened in the past. There are many people that are experiencing kidnapping, maiming, and such like, that the federal government has been unable to reach. But I think what makes this particularly grating is that this happened in Sokoto, this happened in the midst of something that we hope will not become a religious crisis. And it's quite clear, you understand, that the so-called blasphemy was in question. You would have thought maybe the governor or somebody, you understand, from the presidential presidency, as we call it nowadays, would have reached out. That's the job of the presidency. That's the job of the president, you understand, to be the comforter in chief, the mourner in chief, to be there for us when we're not there. It's not just about executive actions. It's also about soothing the pain that people feel. No amount of words from the presidency will bring this daughter back, you understand. But I think what will bring some relief, or what will bring some comfort in this time, is that justice is being pursued, justice is being sought, and justice is being achieved. What I think is that there's a fundamental problem in the way that some religion, even I focus more on Islam, but also Christianity, is sometimes being interpreted by the followers. And a lot of it has to do with the teachers of those religions, you understand, rather than the holy books themselves. I think the holy books, you understand, are quite clear, from that point of view. But what happens is that the teachers of these books, for whatever reason, you understand, misinterpret it.
You are quite familiar with the Islamic tenets.
Yes.
And so is it written anywhere in the Quran or Hadith where the Prophet said whoever the case of blasphemy must be death.
Absolutely not. In fact, the person of the prophet on a number of occasions recorded in the Hadith and possibly even the Surah, but more particularly the Hadith, was attacked, when I mean attacked, verbally and so on and so forth. And it's even recorded that he led the prayers of one of his attackers, even after that person died naturally, not from being attacked. So there are many, it's replete with examples, the Quran and the Hadith, you understand, that blasphemy lies, the response to blasphemy lies in the hands of God Almighty. Both books, the Quran and the Bible, make it clear that vengeance, you understand, belongs to God. Our God is not so weak that he cannot respond to slights or abuses or insults. And I don't think he needs self-help from anybody. So those people that did whatever they did are uninformed. They are not informed and, of course, misguided. But also, they should be treated, as criminals. If somebody has offended any law, that person should go through the normal court process, whether it's the Sharia court, if it's a Muslim, in family cases, but the penal system or the legal system for other people.
Yeah, but the question then is the Islamic teachings down south different from what is being taught up north?
Well, you wouldn't expect that, but certainly the way that is applied down south seems to differ from the way that is applied up north. It seems as if they have a more strictly Wahhabist, interpretation, which sometimes bears no resemblance to what the Quran or what the Hadith says from that point of view. But it's quite clear that the tolerance down. Well, I don't even know whether it's tolerance, because tolerance is when you are departing from the text. I just think that the freedom, the exposure down in parts of the country differ from part to part. I don't know whether it's the level of education. I don't know whether it's the fact that some people don't have...
Well, some of us wouldn't even like to look at this from the prism of religion alone. Yeah. What is the place of government in all of this?
No, government has a place. You see, when the leaders, when the governors, when the local government leaders are unable to lead and to lead well, there's a particular presidential candidate, even though he has explained it, who initially condemned it, and that's what we expected. And he withdrew it afterwards, because some people say that people were attacking him left, right, and center. And even if you look at the statement from the federal government, yes, the federal government made attempts, to speak to the issue, but they were trying to be. Everybody was trying to be very, very careful rather than condemning it wholesale. I think later maybe the vice president was able to condemn it wholesale, but a lot of people have tried to avoid it, as if it's the guardrail, not the guardrail, as if it's the life rail of Nigerian politics. If you touch it, you die. Politically, that I mean. Mm-hmm.
All right, so Deborah's mother, the late Deborah's mother, she's come out to say that she's not going to allow any of her 7 kids to go to school, according to her. And I'm sure you would imagine where that's coming from. You can actually empathize with her and all of that. It's quite a traumatic situation for her.
Well, it's traumatic for you to lose anyone, but it's more traumatic to lose your child in such circumstances. Do you imagine the suffering, the unbearable pain she must have gone through all that? The fear in her. I just pray, you understand, that she will find that she has found rest wherever she is. But I don't think the solution, of course, is for your children not to go to school at all. But she's coming from a place of pain and a place of grief. She's still grieving now, and so it's acceptable for her to say things like that. I think with time, she will come to live with it, not accept it, but live with it and be able to find some measure of peace. And my prayer for that family at this time is that the memory of that Deborah will be a blessing to them.
All right, we'll go on our first commercial break now. When we return, we'll take this story here. Nigeria spends 86% of revenue on debt servicing. South Africa pays 20%. We'll be back.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
láìsí àní-àní àwọn ọlọ́gbọ́n dorí ẹja mú wọn kì í fi iléeṣẹ́ online dynamics ṣeré nídìí ètò ìrìn àjò lọ sókè òkun yálà láti gbé ṣiṣẹ́ tàbí kàwé ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ìwọ àti ẹbí rẹ pàápàá jùlọ àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè bíi Canada, America, UK, Finland, Australia àti Cyprus. àǹfààní aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ ti wá ṣí sílẹ̀ fún wọn náà láti sọ àlá rẹ di òtítọ́ nínú ètò ẹ̀dínwó àtìgbàdégbà tí iléeṣẹ́ online dynamics gbé kalẹ̀ láti bá ọ ṣètò visa ticketing pẹ̀lú admission process lọ́nà ìrọ̀rùn láì fanilápòyà. You too can take advantage of online dynamics expertise and experience experience by joining our periodic visa, ticketing, and foreign educational package promo today. Our services at Online Dynamics give value for money. Fly with us now and pay later. Ẹ kàn sí wa lájà kẹrin Cocoa House, Dùgbẹ̀ Ìbàdàn. Tàbí lọ́fíìsì ìrànlọ́mọ tó wà ní 25 Oyedoku Street, Àgọ́wandé Òṣogbo. Telephone 0810-273-8145. Follow us on social media at Online Dynamics. Ẹ má gbàgbé oògùn tá a fowó ṣe ẹ̀yìn àrò ní gbé o. Darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn lọ́gbọ́n lónìí ní Online Dynamics. Òkè lẹ́yẹ ń fọ̀n.
Guy, make I use your phone.
Shey, you went into your clone line now.
Baba, calm down now. No be this na wahala dey stress me.
You know, as I link my line, clone that's be plenty bonus.
Yeah.
Yes. Once you link your line, you know say clone will give you like 20,000 naira bonus.
20,000? 20,000 naira bonus after you don link am.
Yes.
Guy, take a phone. I dey come link my NIN now. Yeah.
This bonus now for both new and existing customers. So.
Unlimited.
Mama's helping hand.
I'm living the life because I get to Hey, kọ́ńbù ẹ̀kú àlejò imú gbòǹgbò ọ̀nà ẹ̀kú àlejò ẹsẹ̀ Ìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé ẹ̀kú àmójúbà Tizeti Network Limited pẹ̀lú Tizeti ìlò omi òjò lẹ́ẹ̀ máa lo ayélujára íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ní yàwàlù torí pé gbajúgbajà ní iléeṣẹ́ Tizeti Network Limited nídìí ìpèsè ayélujára lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà fún iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àtolókòwò kéékèèké lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti ẹ lè browse kẹ́ stream kẹ́ sì tún gbá géèmù bó ṣe wù yín láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìlànà ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́mùkú data kèé máa ṣeré ìwọ ni kó o má sọ̀fànù 12,500 naira péré lẹ́ẹ̀fì jẹ mùlá data fódìdí oṣù kan gbáko lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti tẹ́ ẹ bá ti darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú 59,500 naira tí wọ́n fi bá yín gbé kalẹ̀ tẹ́sí lu ayélujára fódìdí oṣù kan gbáko láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ ẹ kàn sí wifi.com.ng/oyo ẹ sì lè pe 09087493040 09087493040 tàbí kẹ́ ẹ tẹ àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ sí internet@wifi.com.ng ayélujára ní yàwàlù Ọ̀yọ́ ló wà.
Uncle Dentist, wetin be cavities and how Colgate take dey protect my teeth from cavities? Shey dey use comfort?
No dear, na hole for teeth dey cause most tooth pain wey be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection take brush every day, the confirmed formula go help keep natural calcium inside our teeth wey go protect them from tooth decay.
Time don reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Yes, cavities out!
Now, the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
Here comes the Mega City Crusade, the Truth 2022. There shall be signs and wonders.
Aha! Better don't land for Ibadan City. City of Hope Foundation. Welcome now for all the Truth 2022 City-wide Crusade. Where in team be the truth. Servant of God will go feed us with the word of God that day now. Prophet M.O. Olowore Baba Automatic. Bishop Francis Waleoke, PFN National President. Reverend Samson Ajetumobi, Oyo State PFN Chamo. Pastor Moses Lano, Christ Life Church, Maryland, USA. Apostle Clement Olu Olajimi, Shining Light World Outreach. Dr. Francis Bola Akijon, Church Growth International. Gospel artist will go praise God with us that day now. Evangelist Dr. Bola Are, Evangelist Dr. Bukola Kiadeshewele Jesu, and others. Date for this crusade that Thursday 16, last Saturday 18 June 2022. Venue na Liberty Stadium waiting for Ibadan. Time now 4:30 p.m. every day. Ministers Conference go show face for 9 a.m. for Thursday 16th plus Friday 17th June 2022. Now for Okeado Baptist Church, Liberty Road, Ibadan. Come know the truth and make you set yourself free. Jesus is Lord.
There shall be signs and wonders.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, it's great to have you back. 32 FM 94.9. This is the Break of Dawn paper review. And yes, we have Professor Oluojedokun with us. We're still taking a look at some of the stories out of the papers this morning. From the Nation newspaper, I have this one. Anambra Governor Charles Soludo, we understand, visited indigenous people of Biafra leader Nnamdi Kanu. That was, I believe, on Friday. Prof, what do you make of this meeting and that, would I call it alliance now, or that meeting basically?
Well, first and foremost, Soludo is proving to be not the ordinary run-of-the-mill southeastern governor. I'm sorry to say that, because many of them appear to have been docile. They've not really been able to engage Kanu. But I think what Soludo is looking for, as he did when he was governor of Central Bank, is looking for innovative ways, different ways to address the conundrum that is faced by the southeast. The southeast economy has been wrecked. The southeast lives and property are in danger. And there are a lot of things going on, not really going on well. It's a ghost place, the southeast. It's a ghost of its former self. And I think it was an audacious, bold, courageous move for him to meet with Kanu. I think what he's trying to do, he's speaking to two audiences. He's speaking first primarily to his people, you understand, and of course to the IPOB people themselves. But he's also speaking to the federal government. That this guy, you understand, may be the answer, the solution to the problems there in terms of peace and in terms of tranquility. And that you have to engage with Kanu. Kanu is not somebody you can dismiss. If you want peace, order, if you want progress and development to return to that part of the world, then you have to you have to engage Kanu. And I think also he wants to get rid of this sit-at-home policy, because the sit-at-home policy has been ruinous to the economy of the southeast. But even more particularly, the heinous crimes that are being carried out by some people, call them unknown government, whatever you call them, it's quite, it's now beginning to compete at some level with some of the antics, you understand, of Boko Haram, as it were. Yes, the beheading, the rape, and so on and so forth. So, kudos for me.
You think that this approach from Soludo would hopefully resolve?
Yes, we hope.
Things.
We hope. But it's better than doing nothing. What we've had in the past is nothing really has been done other than making statements in the public space. So I think this is bold, and some people will even say that the fact that it was even allowed to meet, because the most of us are allowed to meet with the publicity attendant, is that the federal government itself is beginning to shift, you understand, in its approach to
so it's sort of risky for him too. Don't you think?
Well, it's risky for him, but it's his first year of his term as a governor. You understand? He's not going to be impeached, and he still has about 3 more years, to fight for a renewed mandate. So the political risks may be there, but they're not as insurmountable as they might seem.
All right, let's look at this one that we took before that break the other time. Nigeria spends 86% of revenue on debt servicing. South Africa pays 20%.
Well, people, when Kemi Adeosun was the finance minister, people were warning about this plunge into debt, and she was always justifying it by saying, in terms of GDP and debt ratio, we're still quite okay. But at least she engaged with the press. She spoke about what the federal government intended to do. We have this finance minister that really doesn't seem to be able to engage with the press, nor be able to provide solutions. It seems as if the government policy for some time now, for the past 6 years or thereabout, or maybe 4 years, has been to borrow and to borrow and to borrow. We are in desperate situation. If we are in a situation where 86% of our revenue is going on debt, then really we are just barely afloat. And really, you don't have room for development. In fact, what we're doing is that we're borrowing and borrowing for recurrent expenditure. Nothing has been done. So I think it's a really, really bad situation. And you will think that a federal government, you understand, that wants to resolve the situation will look inwards to its recurrent expenditure. It seems as if this government is leaving the solution of this mess, the resolution of this mess, to the next government. We still have 380-something days to go.
Now, if you look at these two countries side by side, even interestingly, South Africa owes more debt compared to Nigeria, as it were. But they only spend 20% of what comes to them. For every five rounds, they only use one round, I beg your pardon, to service their debt. Why are we paying more?
Oh, we're paying more, really, because first and foremost...
And what should we do to, cut down?
Well, first and foremost, it depends on where we got these loans from. I think that's the first thing. So if you got them as short-term loans, of course, you're going to pay more because you have to cover them within a short period of time. Then also it depends, again, on what they're using the debt for. Some of the debt, we are using for investment. But some of the investment comes at a steep and a high price. Some of them are for road construction, but we are borrowing much more for that road construction. And therefore, when we pay back, we're actually paying back from that point of view. The South Africa's debt is historic. A lot of their debt is before now, from that point of view. And people would argue, as I've made the point before, that their debt is actually yielding returns. Our debt is dead weight, a lot of it. Not all of it. For instance, the one that Amechi was able to negotiate on the rail, it's not dead weight because they were getting, in fact, they started paying back ahead of time, but not a lot of our debt is not like that. What can we do? We need to really address our recurrent expenditure, which means that we cannot even afford a bicameral legislature. But it's not even the bicameral point that's an issue. The point in issue is the amount of money they take home or cut home every month. The second thing, of course, is the ESTA codes that go to normal government workers. There are little things that happen. The presidency, for instance, why should we feed the president? You understand? Why can't he feed himself? We're not talking about conferences. That's the responsibility of the Nigerian state. Why should we do his laundry? All those sort of things. Because if you compare us to countries abroad, you understand, you discover that we're actually paying too much on government, running of government. So cost of governance has to come down. We have to renegotiate. They will not renegotiate with us, you understand, if they don't see any viable means of paying back within the shortest possible time. Then the debt rate, you understand, not the rate, not the risk rate. There's a risk rating, that each of the country has. I think we are junk status. South Africa is not junk status. So what it does is that it increases the interest rate, you understand, not just the rate of pay. There's the rate of pay, then there's the interest on top of it. And I think that's our problem.
All right, Serap sues Buhari for spending 1.48 trillion naira on refineries maintenance in 5 years without crude oil.
Yes, that's an indication of what we're talking about. There are many people who cried and shouted and screamed when they were about to go into this loan for this refinery refurbishment or turnaround, as some might call it. And yet the government went, steaming ahead, headlong into it, you understand, and people predicted this will happen. Yes, Syrup is right to sue them, you understand. Are they going to get anywhere in the courts? That's another matter entirely, whether it's justiciable. But the fact remains, you understand, is that Obasanjo, as early as 2007, I believe, had realized that these refineries were dead weight and that you had to upload them, sell them off. Unfortunately, Yaradua came, reversed it, and this government has continued on that ruinous policy on trying to reinstate these refineries. Refineries, you understand, that work for about 4 or 5 months, even when they are restated.
Where did the money go?
The figures are staggering.
Well, the money goes, they pay salaries, don't they? I don't think they borrow to pay the salaries. I think they're just trying
salaries for work done or work
not done. Really, they're not doing nothing there. You understand? I think they're just, this is old technology, remember. These are things that were built in 1974, 75, 76, 78 at the very latest. You understand?
Buhari won't give us any refinery before he leaves office.
He will give us.
Which one?
Dangote's. He answers my question.
Oh, boy.
All right, Prof. Let's take a look at the train abduction. According to the Punch newspaper, a report says negotiations deadlocked. The federal government is seeking foreign assistance. Now, the federal government and abductors are deadlocked in their negotiations. They're insisting on the release of their commanders in exchange for the abductees. That's, of course, call them bandits now. 3 hostages, we understand, have been released so far. Negotiations in exchange for their commanders. What do you make of that?
Well, they obviously going for high level. They planned this because they really wanted to get their commanders out. So they have high level prisoners, Nigeria's high level prisoners, terrorists that are in custody at the moment. And these Boko Haram are not messing around. Do you understand? They targeted the weak spot. At first, they wanted to kidnap people. In my own view, I may be wrong, but they tried the international airport in Kaduna, and when they didn't succeed, they regrouped. And of course, it was a failure of our intelligence that wasn't able to thwart them very early. And of course, they want those people to release. So you have to ask the question, should they release the terrorist commanders so that innocent people may go free? I know what my answer would be if my relatives were there. Of course, I'll be urging the federal government to do that and to fight another day, from that point of view. But the federal government, of course, wants some guarantees. I believe they will want some guarantees. And I believe they don't want to be shown to be weak. I think the position of the federal government will be, if we release these people now in exchange for innocent people, what's going to happen next? Who else are they going to kidnap? And who else are they going to want us to release from that point of view? But I think for the terrorists, the problem with the terrorists must consider is that the federal government might get to a position and say themselves, is it worth keeping any prisoners if these people are going to be kidnapping people so that they be released? But nonetheless, I think the federal government has to reach a resolution quickly. You know, people are staying there, so people may begin to die there. And of course, the ladies, the young people are at risk. I'm not going to go and enumerate what kind of risk, you know, because all sorts of people listen to this. But they're at risk. And I think the federal government needs to move quickly. We cannot wait till the end of this administration before we get some relief in terms of the release of these prisoners.
It's been a while now.
Kidnap victims.
We understand that a certain woman actually in their custody was delivered of a baby recently as well. It's quite disturbing situation.
Well, it is disturbing because of obviously even the most comfortable hospitals, you know what women go through when they have to deliver, not to talk about those harrowing circumstances.
Right. We have this story here from Oyo Insight. Violence, no more Wulo-Wubo. Oluomologa inscriptions. Government goes tough on auxiliary PMS boys.
Well, it's interesting. Some might say, I can't substantiate it, that the government was in bed with them, you know, for a period of time. So it's quite interesting now that the government now is turning their backs, you understand, and doing their job, their rightful job, which is to call auxiliary to order and to make sure that we have peace reigning. We cannot have alternative government, even in our motor parks, you understand. The PMS is supposed to be a government agency and it should be controlled, you understand, by the government. And the agenda of those controlling it should be good governance, you understand, revenue for the government, of course, and peace, of course, from that point of view, not political objectives or not selfish, inordinate ambition. So, yes, good statement from the government, but the government will have to demonstrate to people that there is no link whatsoever and there is no connection whatsoever between them and the auxiliary, because people like spreading rumors suggesting that there's a close link.
All right. Well, beyond talk, we'll await enforcement.
Yes.
All right, we're going on another commercial break. When we return, it'll be time to get your feedback.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Here is the list of excuses that will no longer be accepted.
I beg, give me your hotspot. I want my data, but this one too much.
Please, could you put your Wi-Fi on? I'm out of data and the recharge card seller has closed.
Oh, I would have recharged though, but I can't find my wallet.
Please, I've got cramps and I can't get up. Can you share your hotspots?
Oh no! Don't know where my internet token is and I need to quickly buy data. Please, could you share your hotspot till I find it?
Hey, Jumbo, I for buy data, but that recharge card seller need to ever get change. How good one?
Now there's really no excuse to ever be out of data with Glow Borrow Me Data. Dial *321# to borrow data now and pay later.
I beg, I will share your hotspot. This rain bahad. Make thunder no go fireman.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Hey, put a spotlight on me. Now let me tell you this. I used to care for the world's opinion.
And I used to fear their rejection.
Omo, I used to beg for validation.
And I used to wait to be seen.
But now, no more.
No more.
No more.
Because my time.
My time?
My time.
My own time is now. So what are you waiting for?
Amstel Malta. Be your best.
Hello, where are you?
I'm coming. I'm very close.
Quico, we're going for a full spa session afterwards. My treat.
Spa indeed. You that complained of being broke just last week.
Well, that was before I won a 150,000 Naira gift card in the Zenith Better Life promo season 2.
That's right. Zenith Bank is giving away gifts worth 150,000 Naira each to 20 lucky customers every 2 weeks in the Zenith Better Life promo season 2. To qualify, open a Zenith Bank account and maintain a minimum of 5,000 Naira for a month. Request, collect, and activate your Zenith Bank debit card, physical or virtual. Then register for *966# or Zenith Mobile Banking. What's more, 5 mega winners also get gifts worth 500,000 Naira every quarter. This promo is open to new and existing account holders from February 1st, 2022 to January 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Have you heard? There's a seasoning for every meal. On the seasoning is full of flavor. Delicious, tasty. Mama's happy name. No. My hunger. Rich flavor. Aroma. Delicious. Mama's happy name.
Hunger, Mama's helping hand.
Angels Market ìròyìn ayọ̀ rèé fún gbogbo ará agbègbè Aṣí Bódìjà Àkóbọ̀ Ìdí Àpẹ́ títí dé Ìwó Road pàápàá jùlọ Báṣọ̀run pé ilé ìtajà Angels Market nìkan lẹ́tí lè rí Indomie noodles Golden spaghetti òróró king pẹ̀lú ẹ̀dínwó jọjọ sí iye tẹ́ ẹ rà á lágbèni gbogbo ẹ̀yin alára tútà pátápátá nínú ọjà ńláńlá aláràjẹ àti olókoòwò kéékèèké ẹ má wulẹ̀ ṣòpò láti máa dààmú kiri mọ́ ẹ wá kó ọjà yín ní ọ̀pọ̀ kú ọ̀yọ̀kú nílé ìtajà Angels Market kẹ́ ẹ sì ṣòwò kẹ́ ẹ jèrè gbogbo ohun tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ló wà lọ́dọ̀ wọn lápòlápò tàbí ní páálí. ẹ gbọ́ o gbogbo ohun tí ẹ bá rà ní Angels Market lówó ẹ̀ ò ga jara lọ. ilé ìtajà Angels Market wà ní àdójúkọ Islamic High School Báṣọ̀run Ìbàdàn. ẹ̀rọ ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni 08033283574 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 08033283574 Angels Market gbogbo ohun tí ẹ fẹ́ ló wà lọ́dọ̀ wọn lẹ́dínwó.
Adékọ́lá Ọdúnládé.
Glo fún mi ní káàdì pé ológun ẹgbẹ̀rún náírà 20,000 lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ṣáà ti so nọ́mbà ìdánimọ̀ rẹ NIN pọ̀ mọ́ òpó ìpè Glo rẹ nípa títẹ *109# ó simple gan ni bónọ́ọ̀sì yìí tó káàdì pé ológun ẹgbẹ̀rún náírà 20,000 ó sì wà fún àwọn oníbàárà tuntun àti àwọn oníbàárà wa tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀.
Glo Unlimited.
All right, it's great to have you back with us. 32 FM 94.9, Break of Dawn, paper review. We're opening the phone lines right now. 070-55,949, 080-97,949. Those are the numbers again. 070-55,949, 080-97,949. We have some messages on Facebook.
Lauren Wajukade, excuse me, we won't be able to take your message, and please be mindful of the words you use. When you're on air, or even on socials. I mean, so you can vent, all right, but you can, avoid being
civil about it.
Right. Good morning, newspaper review team. My own opinion about Deborah massacre is about the country's insecurities, joblessness, religion, misinterpretation, and the country not matured enough in handling cases. I pray God keep and guide us. That's from Otubayo Adiriola. Thank you. We got your message. Sulaiman Sharif, good morning, 32 FM crew. Happy, pleasant week. According to the report, gunmen killed 323 security operatives in 2022 within less than 5 months. It seems the report of common people killed by gunmen is beyond Nigeria is peaceful under Mr. President. It's a long one from him. Balkis Onajuran, OLUTAYO, and Kenny. Nigeria spent 96% of its revenue on 2021 in debt servicing. Stunning. If spending is not reining, there will be no money to spend in the future. We keep borrowing for recurrent expenses, but we have almost nothing to show for it. And the few projects that have been completed are being destroyed by terrorists. It's also a long one from her. Balkis, thank you. We'll go to your message. The lines are open 009 7000 949 0705 5000 949.
All right, Prof. Over the weekend, there was gridlock around the UI Bodija access, all of that place. UI students protesting the strike, the ASU strike and all of that. This morning, we understand that ASU, NASU and SANU, they've come out to say there's no agreement reached with the federal government as of now. Remember last week Friday, Ngige came out to say that the strike will soon be called off and all of that.
Hello.
Let's take this call.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm Michelle on the line, calling from Manila. I want to react to the reaction toward the PMX guys. So I commend them for that step because some of them, they don't have moral ethics, the way they behave to the passengers or the drivers on the streets. Apart that, there are some impostors among them that they are ready to tarnish the image of the present government by put on this different inscription that's not related to the PMX task force. So I commend the government, and they should try to enforce the law for any one of them that violate the law, and they should try to do the needful, because engineering is nearby now. So we know how some people use the PMS guys that they are causing violence in your state. So that's my own reaction. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment there. The charge also states that no member of PMS is allowed to drink any form of liquor or intoxicant substances while on duty.
Well, that makes sense. Who's going to enforce it? Who's going to check it? And who's going to monitor it?
070-55,949, Prof, as to strike, any resolution in sight?
Well, it doesn't appear to be so, but at least we have some good news that Ngige now will face his job squarely. And I think Nwajiba too,
as well.
They've withdrawn, haven't they? Yes, so they would face the job squarely. We need full-time ministers dealing with this. ASU needs to find a way, to break this logjam. ASU is not at fault necessarily. The fault with ASU, in my view, is they are using the wrong tactics. But the students are frustrated. That's why they're demonstrating. And when you have frustrated students at home, all over the place, it's a gun keg powder, or gun, or what do they call it? Powder, whatever it is.
A keg of gunpowder.
A keg of gunpowder.
Hello. The line dropped 009 7000 949 0705 5000 949. Report has it that gunmen killed, that's according to Miriam, in 2015 during our president manifesto. He promised to restore security in Nigeria within 6 months. But what do we have now? Killings upon killings. Nigeria needs a leader that will bring us peace, secure our lives and property. Thank you, Miriam Afolabi. We go to your message 009 7000 949 and 0705 5000 949.
All right, Prof, from the Punch newspaper, there's this story. I'd like to get your reaction. Buhari gave me opportunities past vice presidents never had. That's according to Osinbajo. What do you make of that?
Well, it's a combination of factors. Buhari, of course, was ill. And when Buhari was ill, he had to be the acting president. So, of course, he's acted as president. He smelled power. And, of course, he was in charge of, what's his people? Trade and money and some other things.
Right.
So it's correct to say, yes, he was given opportunities. But then he has to respond to what he did with those opportunities. Did he handle them well? Did he make lasting changes? Was he there long enough to make those changes? And some would suggest, yes, in the first term, yes, they could see the impact. But in this second term, he's been by the way. The opportunities have been far-flung in between. And it's not been able to make the impact that the so desired impact. In fact, people felt that in this second term he's been marginalized to a certain extent. But I think Oshiba just tried to tread a line, very, very, very narrow line between being loyal to the president and thinking about what he's going to do in the future. He hasn't said so much about what's going into the future. I think he's concerned with being loyal to the president at the moment.
Do you think that short stint he had while the president was away makes a case for him? Talk about his clamor and his race for the presidency.
Nigerians are very bitter with the suffering that they're going through. Nigerians are very frustrated. And Nigerians really don't care about the impact that he made then. But if you would ask me, I think he made an impact. I think he showed promise. And I think there's substance with this man. But I don't think most Nigerians care about all that. All they just care about is that what the present situation is, and that Osinbajo is vice president to somebody they see as a monumental failure.
070-55,949, 080-97,949. Those are the numbers.
All right, let's quickly talk about jungle justice before Prof goes on the program today. But before that, we take this call here and we'll come to that. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Hello.
We can hear you. Make your point.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. We can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, the lines will be attended to since we're having issues with it this morning. There is high security. Okay, well, this mobile action.
Yes.
Jungle Justice.
Yes.
What happened in Lagos over the weekend?
Yes, the sound engineer that there was an altercation of 1,000 naira, sorry, and it ended up in the lynching and the burning alive of the sound engineer. I think earlier in reports indicate that it was initially a scuffle and that some people intervened on behalf of the Okada drivers or Okada riders. That's the best thing. But I think it's quite unfortunate. I think the frustration level has reached the fact that we now settle our disputes through mob reactions and through death, as if the cost of human life is not worth anything. You can snuff out the life of people just in a jiffy. I think it's rather unfortunate, but I think it's a reflection of the frustration that people are facing. And that's criminality, of course. That's a breakdown of law and order.
Could it also be a lack of trust and confidence in our justice system?
Oh, yes. The justice system takes enormously a long time. But also in the justice system, you find people who even have committed no offense, but they don't have a good lawyer. They're not aware of their rights, and they're put in detention. Detained. I use the word detention, you understand? Which means they've not been convicted, from that point of view. So, yes, our justice system has some issues.
Hello, good morning. What's your name?
Okay, good morning. I don't know this my name.
Okay, let's hear you.
From Ibadan.
Oh dear. Something wrong with the lines. Keep trying. 070-55,949, 080-97,949. There's a...
Why do we have a recurrence of, jungle justice? What's fueling it?
No, you put it, you put your money where your mouth is. It is basically the fact that our justice system is cumbersome, ponderous, and slow. And so people don't feel, and they don't trust. It's not just about judges or lawyers. It's also about the law enforcement people themselves. They are conflicted and they are compromised many a times. You understand? They don't act the way they should act. And sometimes it is money that motivates their actions rather than the pursuit of justice.
Are you not bothered about too many angry youths in this country?
I am bothered. I am very bothered. And that's why I used that expression, which you corrected me, and I got my head around. We are on a very, very volatile situation. And except we have a government that knows what it's doing, I'm not sure anybody will be able to curtail, to control, or to temper it.
We have to go.
Yes, we have to go. That's where we call it today on the Break It Dawn Paper Review for today, the 16th of May, 2022. Prof. Thank you so much for your time, sir. And, of course, the Smart Kids Show is up next. My name is Kenny Durutilu.
And I am